Hey there, it's Mark News again, and I'm just wanting to share just a little bit with you today about durable powers of attorney. So these questions come up all the time for estate planners, and maybe you have one, maybe you don't, maybe you know what they are, or you don't. But power of attorney is when you hand over a bunch of power to somebody, friend, family member. It's a legal document that you execute, and give somebody the power to do something for you. Usually you want to limit those because those are very powerful documents. If you give them off to somebody, they can act as if they are you. A durable power of attorney is the same thing, except that it stays in effect when you become incompetent. So if something happens to you and you can't take care of yourself anymore, you can't handle your finances, typically a regular power of attorney would just no longer be in effect. Just by you becoming incompetent, lacking capacity to make decisions, a regular power of attorney is no longer good. A durable power of attorney has words in it that allow it to continue on if you do become incapacitated. And so that's the whole reason we do them in estate planning. They're usually a very key part of your estate plan, and everybody should have one. A lot of people don't, but you should have one. Now there's two major kinds. That's the springing durable power of attorney and just a regular, takes effect right away power of attorney. And there's some big differences there. So a springing, in quotes, that's what we call them, it doesn't come into effect until you become incapacitated. So somebody has to say that you no longer can make decisions for yourself, and that's usually written in as a physician, your own physician. Maybe a couple of them have to agree. And so that seems like a really smart way to do it. Why hand over a whole bunch of power to somebody right away? Why not make it not take effect until the time you need it? And that does, on the surface, sound like a great plan, and it works for a lot of people. But the big downside to the springing durable power of attorney is that you've got to get a doctor, or maybe even two independent doctors, to agree to write a letter or somehow provide evidence that can be used later that you are in fact incompetent to make decisions financially and take care of your affairs, your financial affairs, your property. And it's tough to find a doctor to sign off on those, frankly. Even your own physician, sometimes they are worried about liability. What happens if something goes wrong, or maybe someone claims that you weren't incapacitated, in fact you were okay, and you had enough ability that you should have been able to handle your own affairs. So doctors do worry about liability. And so the springing power of attorney, durable power of attorney, can sometimes run into a lot of red tape. Sometimes it takes a long time for them to be put into place or make them effective. And if somebody is in the hospital and needs something to happen, their loved ones, whoever they've granted this durable power of attorney to in the first place, can't do anything for them. And so they might end up having to go to court to get a conservatorship or guardianship. And that was the whole purpose, was to avoid that. So you want to be aware of that. Now, springing power of attorney, durable power of attorney is a good thing if you don't have anybody that you want to put that trust in. You probably don't want to give somebody a power of attorney if you don't trust them. But I do understand the hesitancy that some people have to not want to give that to anybody until it's maybe a little closer in time. If you feel like you're getting older and you're starting to lose some of your ability to properly manage your affairs, maybe that's the time to do it. So those are all valid things to consider. But somebody that you want somebody that you trust in order to hand them over the keys to the kingdom, as it were, the durable power of attorney. So think about those things. Do you want it to be a springing durable power of attorney, or do you want it to be the kind that takes effect as soon as you sign that paper? They have the power at that point. So if they get a hold of that paper, they can take it to the bank or wherever, and they can act as if they were you. They can do things on your behalf with your money, with your property. So you want to be extra careful when you hand that over to somebody, and you want to really consider which one's best for you. Is it the springing durable power of attorney, which has a lot of red tape if the time comes that it's needed, or the other kind, which is in effect right away, so that way if something happens and you're in the hospital, your agent or the person that has the power of attorney can act right away. They don't need to run around and try to convince a doctor to sign off on some paperwork. All right, so that's the difference. Hope that helped. Take care.